Barakah cannot be understood without charity. But here's what's interesting. Even psychology argues that doing charity changes the structure of your brain. Now, the reason why we need to understand the concept of barakah is because there is no direct word which translates barakah into English. Now, charity is a correlated word. It's like finance and economics. Economics tends to be more vast. It includes finance, but there is a lot of other implications which we need to break down. Similarly, barakah is a concept which embodies charity, but it also has its implications. So the purpose of this video is to break down what barakah is, understand how it works, why it is not a transactional relationship, and what is the psychological implications of barakah in your life. So let's quickly dive into the psychological bit, because that is something which science breaks down and tries to rationalize how charity and how barakah, which is correlated, works. Now, the first thing which psychologically will affect your mind when you do charity is it takes away your scarcity mindset. The moment when you give your abundant or your surplus funds away to charity, you quickly have that hit of dopamine, okay? And when that dopamine hits, you feel good. But it's not just that. It also takes away your fear of scarcity. You start feeling that because I've been doing good, somewhere deep down, though you don't believe that it's a transactional relationship, whatever it is, you somewhere deep down believe, I have done good, so there is no reason for me to face bad in the future. So this is something which my mom used to tell me a lot, actually. Growing up, she always used to say things like, you've never done anything harm. We've never done as a family harm to anyone. So there is no reason why you should worry when you're trying to take risk in your life. Let's say writing a competitive exam. Let's say going to a public speaking competition. Whatever it was, she always reminded me that you've never actually done anything bad to someone else, and you've constantly been doing good in the society, doing things which you don't reveal. And in return, why would you worry about things? It is not up to you. If you're being tested, then it is God's will for you to not win or not get what you are going for. But it has nothing to do with you not being a good person. If you're being a good person, if you're doing your charity, if you're doing things, then automatically there are implications to it. So that is the same aspect which even psychology talks about. When you're doing charity, you have psychological implications on your mind and the way you think. So you start thinking, I've been a good person, so I deserve good. Though it is not a transactional relationship, it is sort of the tone which your subconscious enters into. So that's the first thing which psychologically will impact your mind. The second and third things are interrelated, so I'm just going to tell you directly what it is. Firstly, there are positive loops through it. So every time you do charity, you do think that this is because of this and this has happened to me because I did that the other day. So you start seeing patterns which you weren't seeing earlier. But the thing is, there's no real assuring way that this is happening because you did that. It just is an assumption which your mind has, as per psychology, that because I've done this good, this is sort of what has come in return for it. And the third and the final thing, which is a huge psychological implication, is a sense of control and meaning. Now, the world we live in is that of instant gratification. We are constantly looking for something so that we can excuse ourselves from not working hard or working hard and trying to make sense of what we are doing. So doing charity gives you a sense of meaning. So if you've helped someone out, if you saw someone who's poor, you made the situation better, that will automatically make you feel that, okay, me being in this planet, me helping this person has given me some sort of purpose. So those are the psychological implications of what charity does. Now here's where it gets into depth where psychology cannot actually explain. So this is where the transition from charity into barakah happens. The Quran itself says that any of your riba has to be given away to charity, which means any of your excess has to be given to charity. So now if you're making a lot of money, but you have a lot of expenses, and these expenses are because, let's say, you have a lot of children or you have a lot of debt, then obviously you do not have a lot of money to give away. So even if you're very rich from the outside, you know what your financials are. So it is not a contest. It's about what is your ability to give and how much are you actually giving. So that is how your calculations work. Now, there is no fixed amount, and this is not related to sadaqah. This is something else altogether. So You don't have to financially calculate. This is not something you like think, okay, I've given 1 lakh in charity, I make 2 lakhs, I've given half of it in charity, so I should get 3 lakhs of income next year. It doesn't work that way. It's not something you can calculate. And another thing which you will notice, which psychology cannot break down, is with Barka comes doors which open for you, opportunities which happen, things which fall in place at the exact right moment. For instance, and I'm only in my early 20s, so I will give it to you from my life experience. The little bit which I've had is, there was a time when I was working 2 jobs and I barely had any time. I used to work all 7 days of the week. I used to work more than 80 hours days, and I was working both a corporate and a part time at the same time. So I was transitioning between desk and physical work. So it was constantly back and forth, back and forth. And I didn't even have time to go to the gym. And in that moment, I realized I am struggling with my finances. Though I used to make so much more money than what I'm currently making, I was not able to give time to anything. And in return, I could see I was deteriorating. I was not feeling positive. And another thing is, none of my funds which came in was staying. It was all getting spent. And I'm like, I have the same expenses which I had when I had a single job. And still, I do not have the funds left. But then I transitioned into a single job and I started being more towards charity because I was focusing back on Deen and I had a lot more time to think about things. So I caught up on everything which I was lacking behind. And somehow, though I know no one is going to believe this, but I do not look at my bank account when I'm spending. And I've never seemed to run out of money. And I know there might be some psychological implications to this, or maybe not, but you counting pennies happens a lot when you're focused extremely on your financials and you're like, okay, this. And I feel when you're more relaxed, when you're doing your charities on time, when you're not seeing what money you're spending, it comes down to your barka. Because barka doesn't just mean opportunities opening or positivity in your life. It is also how much the money you've earned lasts. So you might make 2 lakhs a month and still have to spend it all on expenses, falling sick, whatever it is. And then you might have 1 lakh of income, but all of it comes till the very end of your month. And you still have surplus left and you still are doing your charity. So it cannot be explained. It has to be understood. It has to be felt. So what my suggestion to you would be is try doing charity. Do not tell people how much you're doing. Do more, do less. It doesn't matter. The amount isn't up to you to decide. It's what you feel like giving. Do not put an amount on it because then it's like, okay, I'm making 1 lakh, I'll give 10%, I'll give 10,000. No, that's an amount. What if you say this month I've had 30K left in my bank and I do not really need to get that car on EMI or whatever it is. I'll just give it away because I saw this person who was struggling with finances. Just give it away. It is fine. It is fine. And who knows, in return, maybe you might get a new opportunity. You cannot see it till you have done it. And you constantly doing charity matters. Also, being active in charity is very important. This is something I've been focusing on now because I know a lot of people who have surplus funds and they just go, they give it to a organization or they just put a mail down to a charity and they take their bank details and then send it. That is not satisfying because you do not know what they've done with your funds. They may be halal, who cares? You've not gone, you've not seen the people, you've not heard their stories, you do not know why you're doing it. There is no attachment and you need that attachment to feel human. Now, more and more people are feeling detached from society, detached from people, and are losing touch with humanity itself. And that only is happening because we live in a digital world. So go out there, take your excess funds, do your charities, and when opportunities align, when doors open, when help comes exactly when you need it, you will not be surprised because you know, okay, somewhere deep down, this is Barka. This is what my funds have gone for. It's not something I know is happening in real time to me. It's just ease of process. Everything comes without expectations. You move like you're flowing in a river. And this river is carrying you to your goal, to whatever you are going for. And you feel less stressed. You are way more relieved. And it takes so less effort to make a hard decision when you're doing all of this. So, inshallah, hope everyone in our lives, in my life, in your life, gets to have this feeling and then understands how deeply this concept can affect your life. And may Allah bless us all. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in another video. Till there, take care. Allah Hafiz.